Before churches, before mosques, before missionaries and colonial rule, Africans already had a deep understanding of life, death, nature, and the universe. Not chaos, not superstition, but complex spiritual systems that guided how people lived, governed, healed, and remembered. So why were these systems dismissed, feared, and erased? This is what African spirituality was before religion arrived. Welcome to the unwritten past. Today's documentary explores African spiritual systems as they existed long before Christianity and Islam reached the continent, not to replace modern beliefs, but to understand what existed before them. Because to understand a people, you must first understand how they understood life itself. There was never a single African religion. Africa is a vast continent with thousands of ethnic groups, languages, and cultures. Each society developed its own spiritual worldview based on environment, history, and social structure. But across these differences, certain principles appeared again and again. African spirituality was not centered on blind worship. It was centered on balance. Balance between the physical and spiritual, between the living and the dead, between humans, nature, and the unseen world. Spirituality was not separated from daily life. It was daily life. Most African societies believed in a supreme creator. This creator was not distant, but also not approached casually. Instead of constant direct worship, Africans believed the universe was organized through layers of spiritual forces. Deities, spirits, and ancestors acted as intermediaries between humans and the supreme creator. This system emphasized order, responsibility, and consequence. Nothing existed in isolation. Ancestors were not ghosts. They were remembered elders, those who lived honorably, upheld community values, and passed on wisdom. Death did not mean disappearance. It meant transition. Ancestors were believed to watch over families, guide moral behavior, protect traditions, maintain continuity between generations. To forget your ancestors was to forget yourself. This is why lineage, names, and oral history mattered so deeply in African societies. Memory was sacred. African spirituality was not only about belief, it shaped governance and justice. Laws were rooted in moral balance. Leadership was spiritual responsibility, not entitlement. Kings, chiefs, and elders ruled with accountability to both the people and the spiritual order. If a ruler abused power, it was believed the land itself would respond through famine, disease, or instability. Justice was restorative, not punitive. The goal was harmony, not domination. In African spiritual systems, nature was alive. Rivers were not just water. Forests were not just trees. Mountains were not just stone. They were spaces of spiritual presence. This belief enforced environmental respect long before modern conservation. You did not destroy what sustained you. Nature was not conquered. It was negotiated with. When Europeans encountered African spiritual systems, they didn't understand them. So they renamed them. Paganism, idolatry, witchcraft. Anything outside European religious frameworks was labeled dangerous or evil. This made cultural destruction easier. By attacking spirituality, colonizers weakened identity, governance, and resistance. Conversion was not just religious, it was psychological. Once people doubted their own worldview, control followed. Despite suppression, African spirituality did not disappear. It adapted. It survived in names, festivals, music, and dance proverbs, burial rites, community values. Even today, traces exist beneath modern religions, sometimes unnoticed, sometimes denied. Culture remembers what history tries to erase. African spirituality was never primitive. It was philosophical. It was ethical. It was deeply human. Understanding it is not about rejecting modern beliefs. It is about restoring dignity to African history. Because when a people understand who they were, they gain clarity about who they are and who they can become. This is the unwritten past. If you value history told with respect and depth, subscribe to the unwritten past. More stories are waiting to be remembered.